This here is a 2012 Range Rover Evoque. This was Land Rover's first attempt in making a small-sized Range Rover. The question is, did they do a good job? Well, I'm about to find out. Making a baby Range Rover is kind of like asking Dwayne Johnson to be 5'5". Who would want? First of all, I absolutely love the styling. It's easily recognisable as being part of the Range Rover family. And I would also say that this is possibly one of the best looking Range Rovers they ever made. It's just so aggressive and stylised from every angle. It's just very slick, and the wheels are extended out of the body of the car, which we'll get onto later on. You have these flared wheel arches, which gives you a very premium feeling. And the wheels themselves are these really big, chunky 19-inch rim. You have these really cool side vents, which gives you a very sporty aesthetic. The design at the rear is equally as aggressive as the one at the front. You have these incredibly aggressive, slick rear headlights. You have this extended rear spoiler. You have these double twin exhausts. You see where I'm coming from when I say that this is an incredibly good looking car. I think from every angle there's just so much attention to detail. As you can see, the interior is such a lovely place to be. It really is. The black centre console with the silver accents just works so well with the beige leather seats and the beige dashboard. It's just so lovely, you know. They could have overdone it and made the steering wheel beige as well, but I thought that would have been a bit too much. Speaking of the steering wheel, I absolutely love the design. The buttons in the middle remind me of the logo of Top Gun. So there you go, you can pretend you're in some sort of F-22 Raptor fighter jet thing. The one thing I definitely don't like is when you open the car door, you get that constant pinging to remind you the door's open. Why? It's not as if I don't know the door's open. In terms of gadgets, you get keyless ignition. In the centre here, you have this touchscreen. That wasn't meant to happen. But yes, you have this touchscreen sort of iPad thing in the middle here, which you can either operate, obviously, using the touchscreen sensors itself, or for the buttons on the steering wheel. Despite being over 10 years old, the touchscreen is nice and responsive. In the centre console, you've got this, you've got some cup holders there, a bit more storage, so that's what you want to do. In the middle here, you've got, underneath the armrest, this is, yes, more storage, but this is where you plug in your chargers for whatever tech you've got. In the centre here, this is where you've got your stability control. This is where you can adjust the suspension to whatever ground setting you're on, whether you're on tarmac, snow, mud, or desert, sand. So you still have that with this car. You still get your hill descent, that's featured on this car. Yes, you still get your usual cruise control, tractor control, climate control, a lot of controls. And you get an electric handbrake. In terms of parking, this car has radar system, so when you put it into reverse, it brings up your environment on your screen, and when you get close to another object or another car, whatever, should beep at you when you get too close. Like so. And trust me when I say that you are definitely going to need those sensors, because the rear view window is, well, it's surplus to requirements. It's so small, they might as well just paint it over it, to be honest. However, I'm not sure how well this is going to come across on camera, but the wing mirrors, they're actually very large, a lot larger than you get on a normal car. So that means they cover a wider view than they would normally, so they'll help you out a little bit. But I still think the rear view window needs to be bigger than what it actually is. Sorry, just want to quickly add that although it's good that these wing mirrors are nice and large, as they're quite close to the A-pillar of the car, they do make quite a large blind spot whilst driving. In the back, you get more than enough legroom, and despite the roof being slanted at the rear, you get more than enough headroom as well. In the middle, you get the armrest, you got these cup holders, and you get a little bit more storage What you can throw in there, I don't know, but whatever you take your fancy. The one problem I have with the Range Rover is that on the key you've got a boot release button, but as we can see, the boot doesn't actually release, it just releases the lock. That means all you have to do is pull it open, you don't have to release the lock on the boot, but I feel like that's very dated. There is a boot release button under here, but it still does the same thing. It still doesn't open the boot properly. It's even more disappointing when they did make the boot lid on the big Range Rover to open up all the way. The boot has a capacity of a whopping 575 litres, and no need to remember the name of your car because it's actually engraved on the floor of the boot. The engine is a 2.2 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine, which produces 188 brake horsepower. That means this car should be able to achieve 44 miles to the gallon, which for a Range Rover is completely unheard of. Sounds pretty good as well for a diesel. Now, in terms of how this car actually feels to drive is, well, very good. It's very comfortable. The suspension is very soft, you know, it's not hard. The biggest thing that I like about this car is, usually with big SUVs, because you're quite high up, going around a corner you feel like you're being thrown around and you're fighting against the force of gravity to keep your body in the upright position. But with this car, because the wheels are sort of extended out, you don't get that at all, which means the car is very stable going around a corner. Also, for a small sized SUV, I would say that this car actually has a quite high up riding position. It's definitely higher up than you get in most cars. In terms of its pulling power, I'm currently in third going 30. If I put my foot down, that's 40. So it's not slow, but what we'll say is, off the line, from standstill, it is quite slow. It's like 60 in 9.5 seconds. That's not great. It's mostly, and that is mostly due to the weight. This car weighs 1,795 kilos, which is actually the heaviest car I've ever featured on the channel. Top speed, 121. It's definitely not what you would call a supercar. The gearbox is a 6-speed manual we have here. They did do an automatic version if you prefer it, but what we'll say about the manual is, it is very good. The gear stick itself is quite short, but I have had no issues slotting it in and out of gear. Second, third, you name it, I've done it. It's easy, straightforward. The steering is, well, it's nice and light, don't get me wrong, but I suspect because the tyres are really thick, you've seen for yourselves how thick they are, you don't feel like you have that much contact. Yes, that makes the ride more comfortable, but again, for a car, it's not great. It doesn't bother me, and it probably wouldn't bother yourselves that much, but it's just something to know if that's what you're looking for. The turning circle of the car isn't the best. But with a bit of practice, I did manage to get all the way around. So, just to wrap up then, should you buy this over the big Range Rover? And I'd say yes, on the basis that this is better looking than the big Range Rover, it's more practical than the big Range Rover, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than the big Range Rover as well. And it's probably just as good off-road, with it still having that traction control gearbox thing, whatever you call it. That's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's content, please feel free to like and subscribe.